staying in the NBA, we're gonna go on to Jahlil Okafor actually, and just the issues he's been having so far in the past like recent weeks. Like, it's just been like constant like issues. Like, now he's been suspended for 2 games, and it sucked because he got suspended legit right after their very first win of the season. Like, excuse me. And it's like the Philadelphia 76ers was like, oh yeah, you won for once, young fella. Now you're suspended. I mean, granted, he's been through a slew of like, just troublesome things, like with the brawl that happened last week outside the Boston bar. And it's common knowledge that Jahlil Okafor is 19 years old, and you have to be 21 in order to get into a bar. And then there's the thing with him speeding on the bridge, going 108 in a 40-mile-per-hour zone. And then there's also the other thing with the guy that held the gun to his head in the club and everything like that. It's crazy. And so now you see that he gets suspended for 2 games, and you look at that Philadelphia 76ers team, and you can only sit there and wonder, like, there's nobody to really mentor him because the team's relatively young. It's not like what Karl Anthony Towns has with like a Kevin Garnett, where Kevin Garnett's an experienced veteran who can steer you in the right direction. He doesn't really have that. And even, I mean, Coach K said Jahlil's one of the greatest, and Coach K coached Jahlil Okafor 1 year at Duke. He said Jahlil's one of the greatest kids ever, 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 ever. He did a couple of stupid things, so knock him for it. Suspend him and let's move on. Make him learn from it. Don't characterize him based on that. He's a special, special kid. He's got into a situation, he made a mistake, but they also need to have security. When we are with the U.S. team, everybody has security because they're targets, but he's got to be smart, and he was not. So he's openly acknowledging the fact that Jahlil Okafor did make a mistake, but he's saying, let's not character assassinate a guy just for, a few incidents that have taken place when he's only 19 years old. And it's true. I mean, some of these things, I mean, it's like common knowledge, like, bro, like, you're going to get heckled by people, so don't entertain them. But then in the same vein, you also know that, I mean, you shouldn't be at a bar, like, fighting with people. And I mean, it's also, I mean, it's common sense that you shouldn't be going 108 in a 40-mile-per-hour zone. I mean, how much, it was like, when Paul Walker died, I think it was like a 40-mile-per-hour zone, and they were just going 50, and they went around the bend in the car. They lost control of the car. They were going like 50 or 60 some miles per hour, and they lost control of the car, and they crashed. So you're going 108 in a 40-mile-per-hour zone. Imagine who could have got hurt. So you hear things like that, and it's just like everybody has their own opinion. So y'all, let me hear y'all opinions about Jahlil Okafor, what's going on. Khalil, let's start with you. What do you think?
I kind of feel like he's kind of like he's trying to hop into like this celebrity idea of him being a celebrity or whatever. Persona, the celebrity persona. Trying to get my words out right. And he's trying to like be fast paced and trying to be like this big name guy, and he's just getting to because he made it to the NBA. I think he just needs to relax a little bit. Causing bar fights because you got heckled at. I mean, heckling is gonna it's gonna happen. Because you're known in the NBA. You're an NBA player, so you're known, and people are gonna heckle at you. So you just gotta make sure you keep that calm mind. It's because he's younger too, and he's kind of like he's not matured into like the way society like views celebrities or whatever.
Yeah.
Specifically NBA players. So he definitely needs to adjust to that and kind of get his mind right and kind of like just get humbled, a little bit more humbled. Stop trying to, go 108 on a 40-mile-per-hour zone, which is crazy. You could definitely hurt a lot of people, including yourself. And it's just, my man's is young. I understand he want to live his life and, ball out like an NBA player, but you gotta relax.
Not like an NBA player. He is an NBA player.
True. He got a ball. He gonna ball out as an NBA player, but you gotta relax. Keep it humble, or you ain't gonna be an NBA player for too long.
All right, Rashad, what do you think?
See, like Khalil was saying, the actual fame part is actually getting to him, because think about it. If he was at Duke and this stuff would happen, he would have been dismissed from the team quickly by Coach K.
Well, I can I comment? Yeah. Well, one thing I would say versus that, I mean, when you're at Duke, you're kind of sheltered. Imagine like this. ODU's rather open, if you would say. You know, it's rather open, but Duke isn't as open as ODU. So it's kind of sheltered. So things like this.
Texas A&M isn't either, though.
No, but I'm saying Duke, but Duke is a special. I mean, that's why we saw Johnny Manziel had his issues in college. But you see, Duke is sheltered. It's more closed off. So
when he gets out,
now when you're out, and then think about it, this is a 19-year-old kid that just acquired $1 million something from being in the draft, and now you just think about it, he's never really lost before, and now he's part of an organization that's made it a thing to lose. Like they lose for no reason. I don't even know why the Philadelphia 76ers are losing. I don't know if they're trying to do it for draft picks. I don't know why they're losing at this point. Yeah, they're just losing. So and think about it, he hasn't lost. He's lost more games in Philadelphia than he's lost in his whole entire basketball career. Yeah. So imagine how that feels. And he's a reigning champion. He's a reigning NCAA champion. So imagine how that feels for a player when you're 19 years old. Now you get millions of dollars. I'm not saying what he's doing is right, but I'm saying, I mean, imagine that like the Philadelphia 76ers had to trade away Michael Carter-Williams because he was reportedly starting to experience depression from being on the team. Like that was your point guard. That was your good piece, and then you had to trade him because he was feeling depressed because they just lose. I mean, you can only lose so much, especially when you have a winning mentality. I don't mean to take up your time like this, Rashad, but you only expect to lose so much when you have a winning mentality. But yeah, go ahead with what you're saying.
Yeah, but I mean, even though it's a closed, you can't really say closed. It's kind of open, but I mean, there's nothing really around it. But you still go to parties and stuff. But I mean, it's just like you got to think about like who the coaches are too, who affects you. Because Coach K is a strong influence coach for probably who he has right now.
Exactly.
So you got to think about like you're giving this kid is that's what I'm saying. Like this wouldn't have happened with Coach K.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like the fame is getting to him because this definitely wouldn't happen to Duke or he would have been dismissed. So I mean, I can't sit here and say, oh, he's a kid, let him do it. No, because that's completely wrong. Like you know to make smart decisions. You grow up like getting like values taught to you. Like you don't go. So, he didn't go to parties fighting at Duke. He don't go to parties fighting at club now. Like, why are you doing that? Why are you speeding 108? Like, you got to know your life is on the line when you do stuff like that too. But I mean, I don't know. It's just, this is actually a kid who I didn't think was going to be like this coming into the league. Honestly, thought like seeing him play at Duke and stuff, I was like, this is a nice kid, well-behaved kid, know what to do, the right things and stuff like that. Can eventually be a good role model for people. But now seeing him now, I'm just like, I don't know. And I don't know if going to Philadelphia has something to do with it, like being there.
I think being in Philadelphia is what it is, because like you said, like this wouldn't happen at Duke. Like, and that's one thing, it's all about leadership. He doesn't have any leadership on the 76ers. Duke, you have leadership. You had a guy like Quinn Cook, who was a great leader on that team, who was a senior leader on that team. Philadelphia, there's nobody. He's the leader of that team. So when your leader is the 19-year-old kid coming out of college, I'm not saying what he's done is right, but let's not like talk about he's not this role model and stuff when he's only made like a few mistakes and he's in a world that he's never been in. Think about it. We're talking about Duke, like he's in like the reason why Duke is so protected because they're still kids in college. You're an adult when you're in the NBA. The NBA is a man's game. Nobody's gonna coddle you in the NBA, but you need veteran leadership to teach you, hey, maybe you shouldn't do this. That's why you don't hear the rumblings with Karl Anthony Towns, because he has Kevin Garnett. You don't hear nothing about D'Angelo Russell because he's got Kobe Bryant and whoever else on the team. You don't hear anything about Kristaps Porzingis. I mean, I don't know what Kristaps would do out here because he's in New York, but he's got Carmelo Anthony and he's got Derek Fisher, a great coach. But you got Brett Brown, who's taking over this Wizards team, and they're relatively just a losing team. So I can't like put it all on Jahlil. I mean, your common sense kicks in. You got to know what you're doing from right and from wrong. But in some aspects, I'm like, this losing organization doesn't help either. Like when you're in a winning organization, things like this don't happen. Like if Jahlil Okafor was on the Cleveland Cavaliers, I really, really, really doubt this would have happened.
But he has LeBron James.
That's the point. That's exactly my point. You have a leader. All you need is a winning organization. No, I'm saying you need you see how I listed that, right? I'm just talking about you have a leader. I'm not talking about. I'm just saying you had a leader. That's why I listed all those players. Every team I listed has a negative record. The Timberwolves have a negative record. The Lakers do. I don't know about the Knicks. I think they might be even, or they're right like 2 games under 500 because they won last night. But all the teams I listed, they're not great teams. The only that I listed Cavaliers also is because they have a great leader in LeBron James. Like you have somebody that will reel you in and keep you on like your mindset right. And they won't let you get out of line. that's why I can't put all that on Jahlil Okafor, because I mean, how much can you? Cause imagine if we were all given just 19 like a million some dollars, and you're expected to be the leader and anchor of this franchise, and then you come in expecting to win. You've never lost like that before, and then you just start losing, and you want to win so bad, and it's like you're looking around at guys like, y'all don't have a problem with losing like this.
That's not gonna make me go do 180 in the fourth.
No, I'm not saying, but
it's gonna cause you to do something.
No, I'm saying but you can't say we don't know that. You see, everybody handles something. We've all made mistakes in our own way. It's that we don't have $1 million to make those mistakes. We don't have celebrity fame to make those mistakes. I'm pretty sure.
But the same mistakes he made, we can make. There's nothing.
No, but no,
we have.
I'm saying
to go do it in. We have.
No, but we don't have people. We don't have people heckling us.
And we're not in the same.
Exactly. We're not in the same environment. He's a celebrity. There's a difference.
He's looked at and being expected to win and like carry the team.
Like they just lost to the Celtics, and then he's out there in the Boston bar. This dude's heckling him. They're picking on him about it. And you don't have. He didn't have security at this point in time. He just now got security, which is kudos to you, because you got security because after these incidents, and you're getting heckled by these people. We can go out anywhere. Nobody's gonna say anything to us. Nobody's gonna bother us about nothing. We don't have to play a game, this basketball game every night. He does. Shoot, I'm pretty sure even some college players have experienced it when people heckle them, maybe, and they're not having the greatest season. They were like known as a winning team or known as a winning player. Like it's so different to say when you have that money, what you do with that money, and then when you have that fame or when you have that cachet, what's gonna come with it. It's a tricky thing. I mean, I wish the best for him, because I mean you're essentially Philadelphia's centerpiece now. I mean, they're building everything around you. So
we said the same thing about Nerlens Noel's building everything around you.
I don't know. Nah, cause remember Nerlens fell. Remember, they took him as a rim protector. He fell. That Joel Embiid, they were trying to build around him, but he got hurt, or he's been hurt. So that's. But Jahlil Okafor has actually played well. So I mean, but the team is nothing to show for it. You're 1-9 or 1-18. So that's it is what it is.